All right, welcome everybody. Happy Saturday morning to everyone. Thank you so much for getting on. We've got lots of people on here from all over. We had another incredible sales week, our biggest commission run to date. Every week has gotten bigger and things are really starting to get exciting. I have a few very short announcements to make before we get into the training. If you did not already see, we have the new reports and alerts features in the app. The way that the reports are designed are for you to be able to see new members and new influencers that are joining your organization. So those report tabs now will show your entire organization, whether they're personal or they're from somebody on your team. You'll now be able to see all of your new influencers, all of your new members. You're also going to see our new rank report go live literally any day now. We're also starting to send push notifications. We tested those with emails on Thursday and Friday, but they're going to be coming via email, and they're also going to be coming on the app. We had to build it first on the platform to send out emails, and then they'll be coming in the form of push notifications on the app. So the objective is for you to be alerted and for your team to be alerted every time somebody joins their organization. And so this is a massive deal. It's a big advantage. You're going to have people that are staying excited and staying engaged as long as your team is moving and producing sales and staying active. They're going to be getting these alerts and people are going to stay motivated and energized. And so we've been working on all of these live reporting features for weeks, and we're super excited about that. We also have major announcement coming tomorrow night on our regular corporate call at 7 o'clock tomorrow evening. So that's very important that you get that to your team because we are not recording it. And this will be one of the biggest announcements we've ever made. And we have some exciting partnerships to discuss. We're going to announce a contest at the end of this training. So you definitely want to make sure you stay tuned in and you are on that brytelifenews.com Zoom tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. Of course, we're on our new schedule now. Just want to remind everybody, because we've been seeing some people pop in an hour late on the Zooms. I've been seeing them get into the Zoom rooms. So make sure that everybody knows that the Zooms now moving forward are all happening at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, Sunday through Thursday. Our Sunday Zooms have been massive. They've been the biggest ones that we've done. Sundays have been a great day to start the week and really get your week going. So if you are not using the Sunday night Zooms, you're missing what has been the most powerful and the largest Zooms that we've done over the last couple of weeks. One of the last things is we only have 2 rooms left for the Tulum trip. So I would highly suggest doing whatever you can to get in one of those last 2 rooms. The other thing I would encourage you to do is use it to recruit. If you have somebody out there that you think could literally change your life from a business standpoint, if they would get involved in your business, if they would sign up and join us, use the Tulum trip to recruit, okay? I will even do something with you. If you have a 6-figure earner or a 7-figure earner annually, okay? So 6 figures annually, 7 figures annually, that you have that's documented, and you can use the Tulum trip to recruit them. Send me a message privately. I will work with you to get them on the Tulum trip. But let's use those last 2 spots. The Tulum trip is going to be amazing. We actually are already working on the agenda for that event. We also are going to have our first major corporate announcement as far as plans for the future and some things we've been working on behind the scenes. All of the people in Tulum are going to get first access to that new partnership. And it's going to be an incredible experience. I don't want to spoil it for you. So just know that if you're in Tulum, you're going to be a VIP because you're going to get first dibs and first access to our very first strategic partnership and alliance that we've been working on before we even pre-launched. So amazing things coming, exciting things coming. Once again, tomorrow night, going to have a major announcement, so make sure you take advantage of that. If you've not already seen, this week, I will be live back in the Northeast, and I'm basically in what feels like a million different cities in 5 days. So we're going to be doing Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, July 15th, 7 p.m. July 16th, we'll be in 40 Fort, PA, at the Hatchet Factory, who is owned and operated by one of our members. And so that's going to be exciting. July 16th in Scranton, July 17th, Springfield, July 17th. That Springfield, by the way, is going to be at Corey's church. And so that's going to be in Springfield, Mass. And then July 17th, we're going to be at Westbrook, Maine at 6 p.m. July 18th, 12 p.m. Booth Bay Harbor, Maine. July 18th, 6 p.m. Portland, Maine. July 19th, 12 noon, Bangor, Maine. And so that is the schedule for this upcoming week. So if you need specific details on those locations, you're getting guests to those locations, shoot me a message. I will get you the exact location. And also we'll have Tim and Lance and Dee post these in the Facebook groups. So in the Facebook groups, I'll have everybody post the locations and the start times again so that everybody has them. So we'll have everybody post these events there so that everybody will know where they are and how to promote them. We're going to go through that today because we're talking about exposing. But if you know someone who lives within an hour of any of these places, this is your chance to get them in front of the information live. We are having tremendous success with live presentations and live exposures, which we're going to be talking about today. So ask on your social media, ask on your Facebook, who do I know that lives in Maine? Who do I know that lives in PA? Who do I know that lives in Massachusetts? Ask those questions on your Facebook pages. Ask those questions on your Instagram pages. You never know who you might have that's one of your friends or followers or contacts that lives in one of these areas. So ask the questions on social media as soon as we get off of this today. Start asking around, ask your contacts, ask your team, have your team ask those questions. Find out who they know, not do you know, who do you know? Who do I know that lives here? Who do you know that lives here? Ask those questions because everybody knows people that lives in these general areas. And so if we can find somebody that's within an hour, we're going to do everything we can to get in front of those people this week. So today we're continuing with the second core competency, and that is exposing. So we're going to talk about presenting today. We're going to talk about the types of exposures. We're going to talk about the types of events, how to do them, how to host them, meeting etiquette. We're going through all of it. It's back to basics. I actually worked on this training all week, and I went back to some of my initial trainings from 2005, 2006, 2007, because in the beginning, I was teaching people that had no experience in network marketing. I myself only had about 8 months worth of experience in network marketing when we co-founded World Ventures. So for me, I used to teach all of these core competencies, but for me, now that I've been doing it for over 20 years, part of it is redundant. I forget that most people don't know it or understand it or even, get it really at a high level. And so today is all about the core competency number 2, which is exposing, the types of exposures, the ways to expose, how to close, how to present. We're going to go through all of that today. So I want to remind you that psychologically, in order for someone to join your organization, to become a member, become an influencer, they have to answer these 2 questions. And these 2 questions are psychologically paramount to them saying yes. And so a lot of what we're going to do today, you need to be playing these 2 questions through your brain and be thinking about it, because these are the things that they're thinking internally as they're processing. And remember, we talked about this last week. We talked about, can I do this? And that is very important when it comes to inviting, because the way you invite, the way you make them feel, they're already asking themselves, can I do what's being done to me right now? Can I do this? Can I call or send a text and ask them to get on a Zoom or to come to a live event or to come to a grand opening or to come to a launch event or to come have drinks or coffee or dinner or whatever? They're asking themselves early in the process, at the very beginning, can I do this? And so can I do this and will it work? And so this week, we're moving into more of can I do this? Because the way they're going to be exposed, the way they're going to feel when they're sitting in that meeting or that presentation, or when they're watching that Zoom, they're asking themselves, can I do this? Can I get somebody else that I know to do exactly what I'm doing right now? And we're also going to start to talk about will it work? Because we're going to talk about testimonials. We talked about third-party validation and three-way calls last week. We're going to talk about third-party validation again today. Testimonials are key. Testimonials are key. You've got to be using testimonials. That's why as soon as the app went live, we put the testimonials inside of the presentation showing real live screenshots, okay? And so when we do testimonials at live events, they're even more powerful. And today, I'm going to teach you exactly how to do the proper testimonial, how to make it awesome, how to make it interesting, how not to kill people. What I mean by that is if you say negative things or the wrong things, you can actually hurt. And so we're going to talk about how not to do that. And so today is going to be the evolution of can I do this, because the process is important. But most importantly, getting somebody to join at the end of a presentation, we have to have them answer the question, will it work? Is it working? Is there proof that it's working? Can I do this? Will it work for me? These are all the questions that are playing through their mind that you need to focus on answering, and we're going to talk about how to do that today. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the types of exposures. Now, here's the thing. I have put these in order of effectiveness. This could be one of the most important things you realize today, is that the order of effectiveness, meaning how effective they are getting people signed up, is numbered on your screen right now. And here's what's crazy. We've already put in over 1,000 people, influencers and members, okay? And what's crazy is that the majority of those 1,000, all right, have come from number 4 and 5. Number 4 and 5. What that means is that we've already broken records. We've already put in over 1,000 people. And the majority of them have come from number 4 and 5 most effective types of exposures. Okay? So when you look at what the potential is, when you leave this training today, and if you start using the most effective, or the second most effective, or the third most effective, the first most important, second most important, third most important, because what I'm going to assume is that the majority of you on this training right now have never done number 1. You've never done number 2. You've never done number 3. And so pretty much the first 90 days, it's been about 90 days since we started pre-launch, we've done only number 4 and 5. So when you think about what the potential is for your business and your organization, when you start doing number 1, 2, and 3 that are the most effective, okay? So not only are they the most effective at getting people to join, they're also the most effective at getting duplication, okay? Getting your team to duplicate what you're doing. And also, not only that, it's also the most effective at getting attendance and numbers, because I'm going to talk about how to make number 1, 2, and 3 fun and easy and natural. And when you make it fun, easy, and natural, people say to that first question, I can do this. This is fun. This is easy. This is natural. And so by doing number 1, 2, and 3, you're going to be more effective at getting sales, because they're going to be answering question number 1, can I do this, with a heck yeah, I could do this. This is fun. I just went and had drinks with my buddy. I just went and had coffee with my girlfriend. I just went and had, dinner with friends. I just went to this great pizzeria in Scranton and had killer pizza, right? You're going to start to see the different types of responses to the different types of exposures. Not only that, today we're not going to get into it. I'll do it on a later training, but there are different types of personalities out there. And in this business, okay, because I've done it for 20 years, this business, the type of personality that's most attracted to travel, lifestyle, and entertainment is a blue personality. A blue personality is someone who likes to be in groups They don't like to be alone. Okay, so pay attention to that. If the blue, so when we used to do our surveys, when we taught personalities at World Ventures, the majority of the trainings, the majority of the rooms, when we did the personality profiling, the majority of the rooms, over 75% of the rooms were blues. So these were events with 5,000 people, 10,000 people, 15,000 people, and the majority of them were blues. So that meant that at a 5,000 person meeting, 3,500 of them were blue. Okay, 3,500 out of 5,000. So if you're not attracting the blues, you're missing the largest portion of the business that has the potential for this travel, lifestyle, and entertainment. Blues do not like being alone. Okay, they also tend to be late. All right, and they also like having fun. And so this type of easygoing, go with the flow, have fun, life of the party type personality are the most effective builders, and they're the biggest group of people that you're going to bring into your business. So over the first 90 days, what's crazy is we've broken records and we've done way better than expectations, and we've signed people up with just number 4 and 5. Live Zooms and recorded presentations. That's it. Nobody's been doing live group events. Nobody's been doing live events. Nobody's been doing travel parties. Nobody's been doing grand openings. And very few people have been doing coffee events, one-on-ones or two-on-ones. Okay. But because now we've got experienced networkers and builders coming in and they've built before, they're doing this. You know, Tim Devine is a perfect example. This week, he's put me on the phone no less than a dozen times with prospects and to do 3-ways and third-party validation, probably more than a dozen. But the other thing is this week, when he was out at lunch, he'd go meet with people. He did a lunch with a couple people. He did coffees with a couple of people. He always has people with him. Whenever he's going and doing exposures, it's always 2-on-1. He's bringing somebody with him. This is a key leadership development trait, right? Because you're teaching people how to do what you're doing. So if you're out there doing it all on your own, you're doing it wrong, okay? At least if you're doing it in person, you're at the third most effective presentation, the third most effective exposure. But you're also starting to teach and train. And I'm going to go through that next week when we talk about the third core competency, which is training, which leads to duplication. So next week's all going to be about training and duplication. But today, we're going to stay focused on exposures. And so literally, the people that are getting the sales and getting the results are happening in the Northeast. Why? Because I went there and did meetings. I did live events. I did live presentations. We did a team gathering. All these things that we're going to talk about today, I did there. Sales have grown a lot in Japan. Why? I went there. I did the live events. I did the live meetings. Sales have grown in Dallas. Why? We've done happy hours. We've done live meetings. We've done live events. And so it's not hard to see that where the results are coming from, numbers 1, 2, and 3 are happening. Okay. And so it's amazing. It's incredible that we've gotten to over 1,000 people and we've been using the 4th and 5th most effective types of exposures and presentations. Today, that all changes. Today, we go back to basics. Today, we go to what is the most effective, which is live group events. Okay, I'm going to teach you exactly how to do them. You don't need a presenter. You don't need me to come into town. A lot of people think, well, Wes, when are you coming to my market? You don't need me to start it. I started over 20 different markets in World Ventures that had consistent weekly meetings in 20 different cities that I managed for a decade. 20 different major cities had a standing meeting every week on a Tuesday or Thursday that I started back in 2005 and 6. And they did it for a decade. There's still a meeting in San Antonio from what's left of my team from World Ventures that still does the meeting in San Antonio on a Tuesday night or Thursday night that I signed the contract for the first one in 2005 when I lived there. Okay. So you need to understand that when you start this in your team and you create this culture, you do the meetings, whether it's one person who shows up, 2 person who shows up, 10 people who show up. You don't need a big group or a big team to do a live event. You can start it with just a couple of people, okay? 1 person, 2 people, 3 people, 4 people. So live group events, that's the most effective. Why? Because people want to be part of something. People want to be part of the culture. They want to be part of the excitement. They want to talk about travel. We're going to talk about testimonials and third-party validation and why it's so effective. They want to be included. People want to be inclusive, right? They want to be part of something. It's FOMO, fear of missing out. If you're just inviting one person to watch a presentation or a recorded Zoom or a Zoom and they're at home by themselves, there's no FOMO. That's why I do the introduction the way I do and call out the cities and the people. And that's why it's important that all of you get on those live Zooms. We're trying to create FOMO. We're trying to create culture. We're trying to create an inclusive environment, right? All these different people from all these different backgrounds. It's why we turn the cameras on. It's why we do it that way. But when you're doing it on a computer, there's only so much you can do. But I'm telling you that if 3 million people were in World Ventures over the 13 years that I was there were 2 million plus of them that were blue personalities. 2 million plus. So that means that if you're not doing live events, if you're not doing belly to belly, if you're not making it culture and you're not making it fun and you're not getting together with your team and you're not hanging out, that's another thing about Marcus's team. Marcus and PA, who has team in New York, why are they having success? Why do they have multiple rank promotions in their team? And some of these people have never done this type of business before because they're hanging out and getting together. I went to New York. We hung out on Saturday night. We did a training on Sunday morning. The whole team was there. We all got together. Why? It's a part of something. It's culture. People want to be included. And this is why personal invites work. So going back to inviting, and why, if you just post on social media, that's not inclusive. That's not making people feel important. That's not making people feel invited or special or needed or wanted. You're just hurting. Just make a post. Just make a post. When you're invited, it's like, man, I want you to come and meet my business partner who's flying in from Texas. He's the founder of the company. I want you to come meet him. We're having pizza on Monday night. I want you to come meet these guys that I'm working with that are coming in from Maine. I want you to come meet these guys that are coming in from PA. I want you to come meet the people that we're networking with in PA. These are business owners. These are entrepreneurs. These are movers and shakers. I want you to meet them. I want to introduce you to them. This inviting culture works whenever you're doing these live events. Why are these live events so successful and so effective? Because people want to be included. They need to have FOMO. They need to see that they're missing out on something if they're not joining Bryte Lyfe and becoming part of our culture, becoming part of our community. We can't just build this on the internet. It's not going to work on just the internet. Yeah, we'll sign some people up. We already have. We put in 1,000 people. But now it's back to basics. Now it's getting in front of people. It's getting belly to belly. It's doing coffee. It's doing food. It's doing drinks. It's doing dinners. It's doing lunches. These are the most effective ways you can build your business, okay? The second thing, a group event with video. See, people think that they have to have a speaker or a presenter to do a live event. That's simply not true. I can't tell you how many markets I started in my career, 365,000 people at World Ventures, that were started with just people having a travel party, having a grand opening, which we're going to talk about in just a minute, but doing it with just a video. We used to give them DVDs because we didn't even have Zooms. We didn't even have recorded presentations. So we would give them a DVD. They'd invite people over. It's potluck. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. And then literally they would gather everybody around the TV, around the couch, and they'd put in the DVD. And then afterwards they would do testimonials or they would do phone testimonials. If they were starting a market and had no testimonials, they would have their testimonials on the phone. We're going to talk about that in just a second. So these group events do not have to have a live presentation. They do not need a live presenter. You are literally missing the boat if you're not having live events in your market, because you can do it with the recorded presentation. We've got them on the YouTube channel, okay? We've got them on the back office. We've got them on the sign-up page. You've got presentation videos everywhere. So you don't need a presenter. You don't have to wait for somebody to come in your market. Nobody's coming to your market until you have a market, right? It's up to you. And people would say, well, Wes, when you're going to Maine, you're going to PA, you've already been there. When are you coming to my market? When you put in 20 people, when you put in 30 people, nobody's coming to help you do it. Your team is a direct reflection of you. So if you want someone to come help you build your team, Go start in the mirror and talk about your goals to yourself. Talk about your dreams. Talk about your ambitions. Talk about what you're trying to accomplish and have a board of director meeting with yourself. All right, because it starts with you. Nobody's coming to your market until you build it. And so you have to take these tools and you have to do it yourself. You have to take the initiative. Nobody's going to come hold your hand. Nobody's going to come do it for you. You have to do it. But I promise you, okay, just like Field of Dreams, all right, if you build it, I will come. And if you build it, they will come. The leaders will come, the reps will come, the members will come. If you build it and you create culture and you start a weekly event or you start a bi-week, you do events twice a week, okay? You know, or at a bare minimum every other week. I mean, I'm telling you that there's no reason why you shouldn't be doing 1 or 2 or 3 live events a week. I'm going to talk about the 4-hour work week when we wrap up in just a minute. It's not the 40-hour work week, it's the 4-hour work week, okay? And so you don't need a live presenter. The third most effective, one-on-one or 2-on-1, okay? These are probably the most effective at getting people signed up, all right? They're not the most effective with duplication, and that's why I put them number 3, because live events, group events, live events or recorded events or travel parties or grand openings are the most powerful for duplication because you're getting to the masses. Because when you're doing 1-on-1s and 2-on-1s, you only can get as many as you can do yourself. But if you start a culture of doing these live events or these recorded events, these travel parties, the grand openings, the things we're talking about today, that becomes part of the team culture. It becomes part of the understanding, the system. Everybody's doing it. Everybody, wait, when are you doing your grand opening? When are you doing your travel party? How many travel parties did you do this week? That's what it takes to get the results. So 1-on-1s and 2-on-1s are very effective at getting people to sign up on the spot, especially if it's a 2-on-1. You and another member, you and another influencer talking to a prospect 2-on-1, the most effective at getting signups. I can tell you on 2 hands in 20 years how many times I've done a 2-on-1 presentation and the person hasn't joined. Because when you got 2 people that are motivated and excited and teaching you and showing you, can I do this? And they see, will it work? Because they're together right there. They're going to say yes to those questions every time. Can I do this? I can have coffee with one of my friends and somebody's going to come with me and help me present or show the information or show the video. I can do this. I can meet with people for coffee and push play on a YouTube video. And will it work? Well, you know, Tim is right here with another buddy who says it works and they've proven it and they have got success and they've had a track record and they understand this business model and they believe in it and they know it will work. This is going to work. So go back to those 2 questions. Can I do this and will it work? Why are 1-on-1s and 2-on-1s so effective? Because you've got 2 people that are showing them they can do it and it will work. So if you're not out meeting with prospects, if you're not out doing 2-on-1s and 1-on-1s, you're missing the third most effective and the most effective at closing and getting the person signed up. 4th, live Zoom. Okay, so live Zoom is essentially what we built on for the first, 30 days, 45 days. And then we had some recorded presentations and some recorded Zooms. And so we literally put in over 1,000 people with just number 4 and 5. And I already told you they're the least effective of all 5 of these. So think about what's going to happen to your organization and your team and your rank when you start using 4 and 5. Or stop using 4 and 5 and start using 1, 2, 3, right? You're going to add the arsenal to all the things you're doing. We're going to still be using 4 and 5. But the thing is that 1, 2, 3 are the most effective. 1, 2, 3 are the most culture building. 1, 2, 3 are the most duplicatable, right? But 4 and 5 work. We've proven it. We've already put in over 1,000 sales. But the thing is that should be just part of your routine. If you look at being on every Zoom, okay, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 5 Zooms. 5 Zooms. I'm averaging 15 minutes of Zoom. They went up a smidge because I put the comp plan stuff in there. So 15 minutes of Zoom, 15 times 5, that's 75 minutes. That's an hour and 15 minutes if you're on every single Zoom. And here's the thing, none of you guys have been on every single Zoom except for me, right? So it's an hour and 15 minutes. How can you not allocate an hour and 15 minutes to a business that could produce $500,000 a month in residual income for your generations? Not just you. When you're making $500,000 a month residually, you will change your family name. You will change your family for generations. This is generational wealth. This isn't one family, one person, one household. When you get up into $200,000 or $300,000 or $400,000 a month, now you've created a legacy. But you can't spend an hour and 15 minutes getting on every live Zoom. I've done it. And I've done all the three ways and all the other calls. I'm not complaining, but I know what the potential is. I've been at a point where I've made over $100,000 a month in residual. So I know what the potential is. So I don't have a problem getting on every Zoom and doing every single presentation. Why? Because I know what the potential is. So 4 and 5 should be a mandatory part of what you're doing. It's the easiest. It's the easiest because you can do it from anywhere. You could be on your phone, right? Somebody else could be in their underwear. They could be in their pajamas. They can get on these Zooms and these recorded presentations anytime, anywhere. So those should be a bare minimum, right? You should do those no matter what. But the 1, 2, 3 are the most effective, and those are the things that are going to give you the most duplication. And I'm going to teach you today exactly how to do them. So there will be no excuses. It's not, well, Wes, I don't know how to do a live meeting. I don't know how it looks, how it works. I don't know what to do, how to present. I don't know how to do testimonials. Don't worry. We're going to go through all of that today. So every week, how many number ones are you doing? How many number twos are you doing? How many number threes are you doing? How many number fours are you doing? It should at least be 5. You also have Wednesday with Wes. And we have international people on Wednesday with Wes this week because it's at noon Central on Wednesdays. We may even add some more Zooms to cover our new international members. We signed up multiple people. New teams started in Europe just this week. And so then you have recorded presentations. So how many 4s, how many 5s, how many 1s, 2s, and 3s? Okay, so let's go through them. How to do number 1, the most important, live events. Okay, here are the tips. Now, in my book, I have literally 2 or 3 chapters that talk about all of this. I can't go through all of that today, but I will be bringing some of my books to the Northeast, so I'll be bringing those with me. So if you guys want those, I'll have them. I'm also bringing signs, so we're going to have signs and books. But today, I'm going to focus on the high points, okay? First thing, I recommend doing all live events at a restaurant, cafe, or bar. Okay, and here's why. Everybody has invited someone that they know to a bar, restaurant, or cafe. It's everybody's done it. They've had dates there, they've had friends dinners there, they've had holidays there, they've had get-togethers, networking events. It's normal to meet somebody for food or drinks. So to me, the reason why these are so effective is because for a new person, you want to make it as normal and natural as possible. All right. Plus, these live events attract the blues because people want to be included. They want to be part of something. It's that FOMO culture where fear of missing out. What's going on? Here's the thing. Watch this. Everybody that's going to be at my events this week, watch the rest of the restaurant or the bar when we're there. Okay, if you don't believe me on this, all this stuff that I'm teaching you, this is all coming from experience. Why? Because I did it wrong. Everything has come from experience. None of this I got from a book. I didn't get it from a professor. This all came from learning from my mistakes, learning from experience. All right, so when we do the events this week, watch the rest of the restaurant, the rest of the bar, where we're at. Here's what happens. Okay, they're like, what are they doing? What's happening over there? What's going on? What's that group? Who are those people? What's happening? And then when you start doing introductions and then there's clapping, it's even more. You know, everybody's like, what's going on? What's happening over there? People want to be part of something. So that means you got to be good at inviting. You got to get a bunch of people there because you've got to create this FOMO environment. People want to be part of something, right? And it's easy for them to get people to food or drinks. Why? Number one, we talked about it last week. You're bribing them. if you're buying their drinks or food, and that's why we've chosen affordable places, not swanky pizza places, bars, little coffee shops, whatever, because you should be buying your prospects lunch or dinner or pizza or drinks. I mean, this is the cheapest advertising you'll ever get, and it's a guaranteed guest. How do you guarantee you get 5 guests there? Make sure that everybody knows you're buying drinks, you're buying food, because this is advertising. This is money that you're investing into your business. If you bought pizza, $15 a head for 5 people, that's $75. You're going to sign up one of them, probably 2, maybe 3, and possibly 4 or 5. You're going to get $100 in free travel for each one. So if you sign up just 1 out of 5, you just made $100 and you paid 75. So if you have investments like that where I can pay 75 and get back 100 every time, I'm in. So why would you not invite your friends and your family and your prospects to come and say, hey, I'm buying pizza Monday night. I need you to meet me there. So that's why we do it over food or drinks. I stopped doing hotel meetings back in like 2006 or 7. Because the last thing people want to do at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock after they've been at work all day is go to another meeting. So you're not inviting people to a meeting. Never invite with the word meeting. It's not a meeting, okay? So keep that in mind. That's why we do it at places where you've got food or drink, okay? Now, the other thing is when you go find a location, you need to tell the restaurant owner or the bar owner you're going to be advertising for them, all right? Because you're going to be promoting this all over town. People are going to hear about it. They're going to know about it. And you have to start somewhere. It's going to start small. It might only be a handful of people, but it's going to get bigger every week. And so you want a relationship with someone that you can grow with. So you need to find a place that's big enough that you can get to a point where you're having 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 people. And start somewhere and have an understanding with the restaurant or the location that you're going to start this networking event. You're going to do it every Tuesday at 7 o'clock, and it's going to start small, but it's going to get bigger every week. And what I also do is I get them to give me a set menu or a discount or a happy hour menu because I'm bringing the people in. These people, and this is what you have to explain, these people would not be coming in there on that Tuesday night if I didn't tell them to. So you deserve to be able to get them to do some kind of special treatment for you. And this also, if everybody's buying, then there's no reason for them to charge a room fee or a private setup fee or any of that kind of stuff because everybody's coming in and buying because we're teaching our people to invite by buying their friends dinner, pizza, drinks, right? Whatever it is. So get a set menu so that way you can control the cost. It also makes it faster. If they take a lot of the things off the menu and they just have a few things, and I tell them, look, use your most profitable items. Use the items that you want. Do a pizza, do a salad, do a pasta, do a chicken, and have 2 or 3 or 4 things, and that's it. That way it's easy, it's fast. The waiters aren't in and out of you know, all over the place and in your way. The other thing I do is I used to do this at the places where I would hang out for one-on-ones and two-on-ones. Make a note, by the way, if you're doing one-on-ones and two-on-ones, we're going to talk about this in just a second, but it reminded me, you know, you should have them come to you. If you ever have a leader come into town, if you ever do one-on-ones and two-on-ones, you should camp out at one place and have everybody come to you because you waste so much time going around and going to everybody when instead you have everybody come to you. So you could have a 10, an 11, a 12, a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and you don't have to go anywhere. And so what I did is I used to go to the same places where I lived. I found a coffee shop that I liked. I don't even drink coffee, but it was comfy. There were chairs there. It wasn't crowded. I would always get there early, make sure I had 2 seats for my whoever was doing the two-on-ones with me. And I would do two-on-ones with my new people. So new people would come and I would have them schedule the two-on-ones so they would come at the same time as their prospect. So I'm doing the two-on-ones for my new people and my new people that I personally signed up. So when you do it like that, you create a relationship with that business owner. So that coffee shop, you know what they did? They gave me a punch card. It was my own thing. Every time I bought something, they punched my card. And every time I bought like 5 drinks or 10 drinks, they would give me a free. And so I wanted to build a relationship with the people I was doing business with. And here's the other thing. Most of the time, I wound up signing up the owners and the managers and the people at the place because I was camped out. It was like my virtual office. So build a relationship with a local business place that you can go do these one-on-ones and two-on-ones or the live events. The other thing is if you're doing your live events at a cafe or a restaurant, then go to them on a regular basis. If I'm doing it at a pizzeria and it's a good place and they take care of me and they allow me to use the rooms, I'm going to do all my lunch meetings and all my one-on-ones and lunch presentations at the same place. I'm going to do business with people who do business with me or take care of me. Create a relationship, okay? The other thing is you want to preferably find a place for your group events that has a TV or an area with the TV or a room with the TV, because then all you have to do is just plug in your laptop. You can even get an adapter to plug your iPhone. I'm sure that Android does it too. I know there's a few of you out there that have Android still. Okay, so you can plug your phone in directly to an HDMI cable. There's an adapter that goes iPhone to HDMI, and you could literally put a YouTube video, and some smart TVs you can just mirror. So you can just mirror it. You just turn you get on the same Wi-Fi as the TV, and then you turn your phone on and you get synced on the same Wi-Fi, and then you mirror it. You find the TV on the screen, on the screen share button on YouTube. There's a little square there. Click that, and now you can stream the video presentation right on the TV, and it'll also play sound. Okay? So make sure you go do this before the event. Okay, I've got that on another slide, but make sure you keep in mind that you do that. Now, here's the other thing. When you do these live events, okay, this is something that you've got to make sure that you get good at. And that is getting decisions on the spot. You have to teach your people to have them get their guests to make decisions on the spot. Because here's what happens. This is your brain, and this is all the things that they just learned in the presentation. So their brain can soak it up. But then the problem is that every 24 hours, the brain takes in all this billions of bits of new information, and they replace the old information. It's just the way our brain stores things. So then 24 hours later, you've got half left. Then 24 hours after that, you're down to 25%. So 25% of what they heard from the presentation, what they got from the speaker or the video, they've got 25% left after just 48 hours. Then 72 hours, okay? Then 96 hours. You're not even 5 days in, and this is all they have left. 6 days in. A week later, this is all they have left from everything you taught them, everything they saw in that video. All they remember is it's some travel deal. That's it. And you think, oh, my friend's going to sign up next week when they get paid. No, they're not. No, they're not. Because this is all they remember. Why would I pay $200 for $2,000? They don't even remember the price. Why would I pay $2,000 for that timeshare thing that my friend told me about? Because this is all they remember. They don't remember any of the details. They don't remember any of the specifics. And so you have to get good at getting people to make a decision on the spot, even if it's a no. This is not a follow-up business. This is a sorting business, okay? Sorting, not selling. Sorting, not convincing. You just have to get in front of more people and sort the yeses from the nos. That's it. This is the reason why this profession is such a high-paying profession. I mean, you've heard it before. I mean, more millionaires have been created in this industry than in any other single industry. It's the only thing that's completely unracist, unbiased, where anybody can win. And the people who win sort more. They sort faster. They get the no's faster. They get the yeses faster. Because you've got to get people to make a decision. If they tell you they got to think about it, or they tell you next week, that's a no. So you need to get good at turning those into yeses on the spot. If not, let them go. Because here's the thing. They're going to be watching. They're going to be watching. They're going to say, I'm going to see how he does with this travel thing. I'm going to see if she really travels. I'm going to see if they really go somewhere. Because they're saying in their heads, he doesn't ever go anywhere. She doesn't ever go anywhere. She doesn't ever stick with anything. He doesn't ever stick with anything. You know, they're saying these things in their head because remember, the reason why they say no, can I do this and will it work? You've not shown them that it will work. They're not saying no to you, okay? They're just saying no to one of these two questions or possibly both of them. Can I do this? Were you weird when you invited them? Did you make them feel uncomfortable? Did you embarrass them? Did you act strange, right? Were there no testimonials? Is there no proof of success? Is there no proof of income success? Is there no proof of travel savings, right? These are why this is why they say no, or why they say, I'm going to tell you next week, or I'm going to do it when I get paid. If it was a Ferrari sitting outside and they could get it for $199, I promise you they would not wait until next week's paycheck. But your job is to show them that this is a Ferrari for $199. And part of that is done by showing testimonials and proof of life, proof of concept, social proof. Okay. And we're going to talk about that in just a minute. How you run your live events. Now, if you're doing these events, okay, which everybody should be after today, these are your key things to make the events go smooth and to get the best results. Okay. Number one, start on time. This is a big deal about respect. And if you start the events on time, there may be people that come in late, but they will know that going forward, they're going to have to come in late because you're starting on time. So everybody should start on time. You can do arrive at 6, start at 6:30. Okay, if you have groups of people that are notoriously late, or if it's in the culture to be fashionably late or whatever, then I would do arrive at 6, start at 6:30. So everybody knew that presentation or video was going to be, somebody was pushing play or making an introduction of the speaker at that time. So start on time. Here's the other thing. Everybody goes to every event, because even if it's not your event, even if you don't have a guest, you should go, because the meetings need you and you need the meetings. Because if you don't have a guest, I guarantee you need to be there, because you should have a guest at every event. My mentor taught me when I got started in this business 20 years ago, 21 years ago. Okay. He said this to me. He said, Wes, he said, the biggest thing I can tell you is to never come alone. You should never come alone. And so because he told me that, I just believed him. So every presentation I ever went to, and that's the only way we built, because this was basically, this was pre-Zoom. There was no webinars or Zooms. It didn't even exist. So we only did live events. And so he taught me, he said, Wes, he said, never come alone. And I just believed him. So they used to joke around because I had a sports car. I had a little sports car. And they used to joke around with me because they called it like the clown car. I would always have people crammed into that car, and I would always bring people with me, because he also told me this. He said, Wes, the one way you can make sure your guests show up is to pick them up. He said, I pick up all my guests. So if I'm going to do a 6 or 6:30 or 7, I drive on the way and I go pick up, just like a date. Like if you're on a date with somebody, guys, and here's just a little tip, okay? If you have your date meet you somewhere, that is weak. That's weak sauce, right? You need to pick your date up and open the door for her, and you need to take her to the location. It is not a date if you meet somewhere. That is not a date. That is like warm up, okay? And ladies, y'all need to have respect for yourself and make sure that if a guy is not picking you up, that is not a date. Do not go out with that guy. But the way I looked at my business was the exact same way. If it was important, I invited them personally. If it was important, I picked them up. I treated it just like a date. I wanted to be respectful. I wanted them to feel wanted, needed, appreciated, respected, all of those things. But I went to every event, and I never came alone. They would call my car the clown car, because I always showed up with people. Every time, always had people there. And that's literally how I started my business, how I was successful. So everyone goes to every event, regardless of whether you have guests or not. You should always have guests, but even if you don't go, well, I don't have guests, I'm not going. No, they need your testimonial. If you're so awesome, if you're so amazing, then the meeting needs you. You need to do a testimonial. And if you're not so awesome and amazing, then you need to be taking your prospects to the meeting because you've got stuff to prove. So you always need to be at every meeting. So if I'm coming to your town and you live in PA next week, I expect to see you Monday night. I expect to see you Tuesday lunch, and I expect to see you Tuesday night. How's the guy who lives in Texas, who's not from PA, going to be at every event and you're not? Come on. This is the one shot. This is one opportunity. You need to be at every single presentation, not just the ones that are convenient for you. Oh, well, you know, I've got to watch Suits on Monday night, or I've got a B&I group on Tuesday. So what? So what? Who cares? This is the priority. This is your future. B&I is not paying you $500,000 a month in residual, right? Prioritize. I'm coming to town. I'm in Scranton for 48 hours or less. So you need to be at every event. But the other thing is when you have your events locally, and if it's every Tuesday or every Thursday, you need to be at every one. Why? Because this is your commitment. This is your future, right? Oh, the kids' softball game. There's going to be more. Your kids will appreciate it when you take them to Disney or you take them to Tulum. And you can remind them, hey, remember that softball game I missed? Yeah, well, you want to go to Disney? You want to go to Tulum? I'm going to miss some things, right? My daughter understands it. She gets it. She's had the most amazing life of a 13-year-old. She is spoiled rotten, okay? But I've missed some things, okay? I had to bring her on stage in front of 25,000 people at Cowboy Stadium because I was the keynote at the biggest event we ever had in World Ventures history. I was the last speaker at 7 o'clock on Saturday night in Cowboy Stadium, and it was the night of her first daddy-daughter dance. She was in the first grade, okay? So first grade, and she got the dress and was excited, but had to come dance on stage with me in front of 25,000 people. I turned it into something special. But the thing is that you're going to miss things. Okay, you need to be at every event, right? This is your future. This is your business. This is something that's going to pay you $500,000 a month. You got to treat it that way. You can't deprioritize your team commitments, your Bryte Lyfe commitments for things that are going to come and go, right? There's going to be lots of softball games. There's going to be lots of gymnastics things. There's going to be lots of dance stuff. There's going to be lots of that stuff. Okay, have a conversation with your spouse, with your kids, and talk to them about your commitment. Talk to them about your goals. I used to do a goal setting workshop. And I think one of the most important things you can do is share your goals with your children and your spouse, because then they know why you're working. They will never question your work ethic or your commitment or your meetings if you've shared your goals and dreams with them. And so my daughter knows, you know, she's like, Dad's always on the phone. Dad's always doing Zooms. Oh, she's asleep right now. Or she would come in here and she's got a funny impression of me. Hey, it's Wes Melcher. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. And she'll come in and do it. Why? Because she's heard me do it a million times. She expects it. She understands it. She appreciates it. She also loves that I'm the only dad that's in carpool every day. I'm the only dad in carpool in the morning. I'm the only dad in carpool in the afternoon that's there every day. I'm the one who takes her to school, picks her up, and we enjoy that time. Why? Because I have this lifestyle. Because this industry has given me the ability to do that. But I'm at every event, and I'm doing every Zoom. Okay? So, you know, these are the decisions that you have to make. Here's the other thing. All of these live events need to be done in under an hour. Okay? They need to be start, finish, done, testimonials, wrapped up, in and out, under an hour. All right? The brain cannot absorb what the butt can't endure. Okay? It is not comfortable to sit in a still position, not talking, not barely breathing for more than an hour. Okay, so you should respect these people's time and don't go on and tell all your stories and show all your travel photos and everything. You know, it should be done in under an hour. Okay, start, finish, done. And I mentioned travel photos because you guys, when you're doing these presentations yourself, y'all should put your own travel photos in. Like I have my travel photos in the presentation I do. Don't show my travel photos, show your travel photos, right? You're trying to show credibility. You're trying to show that it works. Remember, can I do this? Will it work? That's why I show the travel photos, okay? Remember, they only need to make a $200 decision. Most people can make a $200 decision in 5 minutes. There's infomercial products that are sold in 60 seconds that are $200, okay? I've seen vacuum cleaners and stuff on TV that are more than $150. and they're in a 30-second or 60-second commercial. So you don't need to go longer than an hour. Everybody should be in the restaurant and out of the restaurant in under an hour. You only need them to be able to make a $200 decision. They can do that in 5 minutes, right? Everything else is just fluff. Very important that if you do have a live speaker, somebody gets up and does an awesome introduction, edifies that person, makes them sound like, you know, the president of the United States. All the great accomplishments, all the great achievements, thank them for coming, thank them for being there, even if they're a local person. I mean, make that person feel respected, appreciated, because now you've given them the credibility. So you put them up on the pedestal. So now whenever they're speaking about this stuff, they're seen as an expert. This all helps with, will it work? Can I do this? Can I bring one of my friends to hear from an expert? Yeah, I can do that. My friend didn't even do anything. She's sitting next to me drinking her margarita. She's not doing anything. This other guy or this other girl is doing all the work. I can do that. I can sit and drink a margarita and bring my friends to a Mexican restaurant and have some, you know, hotshot come do the presentation. I can do that. That's why these events work so well. So edify the speaker. Even if it's a recorded presentation and you're just pushing play, edify me, tell the story of Bryte Lyfe, build me up, and then we'll push play on the presentation. So even if it's a recorded, you still edify the speaker. You still go through the same steps. Here's the other thing. Live events. Always have testimonials. Okay, so always have testimonials. And the other thing that's really been effective is asking people what's on their bucket list. Going around the room. The speaker can do this from the front of the room. What's on your bucket list? And also doing testimonials and having people do live testimonials there in the room. Some people should do a testimonial about the business. Some people should do testimonial on travel. All right. So, and I'm going to tell you about testimonials in just a second, but use testimonials. Also get the crowd engaged at the end by asking them what's on their bucket list. So what's the number one thing on your bucket list? Go around and ask it. We did this in Japan. Chris Cannon did it. It was amazing. People lit up. I mean, it's so wild. When people start talking about their bucket list, you should see the energy change. You should see the excitement. And people they want to have other people hear it too. And so ask people what's on their bucket list. Here's the other thing. Like I said, always go set the meeting up, check the AV, test everything the day before. Don't do it right before the meeting, because in case you have a problem or in case the TV doesn't work or you don't have sound, it's not a ruined event. Always go and set this stuff up and check everything and test everything before the actual meeting. Let's talk about testimonials. Write this down. Half the testimonials business, half the testimonials travel. The speaker or the leader in the market should choose the testimonials. All right. Don't just ask people to raise their hand and give a testimonial. Terrible idea. Okay. Terrible idea. Because number one, these people have not been trained and not been coached. So the first thing you need to do as the leader in the market, or whoever the host of the meeting is, whoever set it up, you choose the testimonials because you know the stories. And if somebody hasn't hit rank yet, it doesn't matter. You highlight the success and make the success sound like an achievement. So if you're a brand new market and you just have a few people and only a few people have signed people up, you say, look, hey, I'm going to introduce my friend Bill. Bill just got started last week. He's already got his 2. So, you know, he's halfway to residual. And, you know, you can edify him with just what he's done so far. They don't know any different. Okay. It's just all about how you make them sound. So as the host, you choose the testimonials. If you've got big meeting, 20, 30, 40 people, I would do 4, 5, 6 testimonials. Half business, half travel. All right. So you need to choose them and you need to prep them. So it's your job as the host, as the leader, to go teach them these 3 things. Okay. These are the 3 keys to a testimonial. Okay. All you need to do is your name, your job, why you joined, or what happened. Okay, that's it. Name, job, why you joined, or what happened. Whatever your testimonial story is. Business, travel, you booked this trip to Disney, you saved $800, whatever it is. Okay, the reason why your job is important is because you're trying to be relatable, right? People relate to people who are like them or who appear to be like them. So when you're saying, can I do this and will it work? If they see someone who is a, administrative assistant for a construction company, and she's talking about how she took her family to Orlando and she saved $800. Somebody else may be an administrative assistant or work in a corporate office, and they may go, man, I could relate to that. I'm a mom. She took her family. So there's all these different things. Who you are, talk about your family, but literally this all needs to be done in under 60 seconds. Nothing negative, nothing discouraging, not, well, I got in and my friends told me it was a scam and it wasn't going to work, but lo and behold, I saved $800 on this trip. Nothing negative, nothing discouraging, name, job, why, or what, 60 seconds or less. Okay, that's how you do an effective testimonial. So you need to prep your testimonials, you need to choose them, okay, prep them, choose them, and make sure that they follow the program. And then give them feedback afterwards. So there's going to be some people that pick this up and do great. There's going to be some people that completely suck. And it just is what it is. If you have time to have them practice them with you, have them practice them with you beforehand. That would be even better. Okay. Now let's talk about meeting etiquette. What to do in the meeting, what not to do in the meeting. Number one, be early. If you're a member or an influencer, be early to the meeting. Help set up. Make sure the chairs are set up. Make sure the tables are set up. Make sure the restaurant is ready. Make sure the TV's hooked up. Make sure the laptop is hooked up. All those things, be early and help with all that stuff. Don't come showing up right at the time the meeting's supposed to start and, being Mr. Cool or Mrs. Cool and, shaking hands and then like you didn't help do anything. Like everybody has to play a part. It's a team effort, okay? The other thing is you always want to make sure you introduce your guests to everyone. Make it a goal to introduce your guests, the people that are there, prospects, to every person that's there. So if you don't know them, introduce them. Introduce yourself. Try to get to know everybody. You want to make your guests feel as comfortable and natural as possible. If you just come and sit down with your guests and y'all sit and whisper and talk, keep it to yourselves, you're not creating this FOMO. You're not creating this environment of culture and team and togetherness and working together and being together. The third thing, give energy, right? Give energy to the meeting. That means that when people clap, clap. When people laugh, laugh. When people cheer, cheer. Sit up front and sit, up in your chair and don't be on your phone, and pay attention and give energy and lean into the meeting, lean into the speaker. You have good, eye contact, good facial features, good posture, all these things. These are things that give the speaker more energy instead of, falling asleep. It's like, I've heard this a million times, it's like, you would be surprised the things I've seen as a speaker and presenter over the years. So give back and put the energy out. The other thing is make sure you're closing, and I'm gonna teach you the closing questions in just a minute. But making sure after the meeting you're closing, and if you don't have guests there, go walk around the room and help everybody else close. Go help your new people close. The other thing is if I have new people that just joined, I'm also making sure that I'm introducing them because they're still part of your nucleus of who you're working with, all right? So introduce your new people, but also introduce your new members and help them close after the meeting. Because remember, they're just getting started with a lot of this. And then the other thing is always tip the server as well and thank the location. Be super nice to all the staff and everybody that works there because it'll be crazy. I'm telling you, you do something at a place consistently, you're going to sign up the whole restaurant. You're going to sign up the manager. You'll sign up the owner. Everybody's going to love us. Everybody should talk good about our groups and love us and want us to come back. So be polite, be respectful, even if things are messed up or if things are delayed. Tip well, thank the location, always close your tabs. Make sure all your members close their tabs, pay for their guests, all that stuff. Just play team to make sure that everything goes smooth at the end. So what are the things not to do? Don't be on your phone. I would literally basically turn my phone to silent. My phone would be off, out of my hand from the time I walk into the restaurant until I walk out. I'm not on my phone unless I'm expecting somebody or somebody's lost or I'm meeting someone. And then once that person's there, then it's off, okay? The other thing is if you're a member and you've been a member, then don't take up the speaker or the leader or the person in from out of town's time. Because one of the great ways to get prospects to a live event, like what we have coming up next week, is use me as the draw. Hey, I'm gonna introduce you to the owner of the company. He's already started $1 billion company once. This is going to be $1 billion company. I really want you to meet him. And you edify me. And then when you get there, you say, hey, Wes, this is, my friend Kevin. Kevin's an entrepreneur locally. He owns a local business. He's a mover shaker, knows everybody. Kevin, this is Wes Melcher. He's the founder of the company. He's already started one company that did over $1 billion in revenue, and he's going to be doing the same thing here. He came in from Texas just for this event. He's the speaker tonight. I just wanted you guys to meet. Boom, do the introductions. But if you're a local person and you don't have a guest there, then you don't even need to be talking to me. It's all about the guests. It's all about the prospects. So keep the speaker or whoever's doing the presentation or whoever the big shots are that are coming in from out of town, make sure you're introducing them to all of the prospects and all of the new members, okay? But don't be taking up their time asking them about comp plan, asking them about the back office, asking about website updates. That's not what this is about. This is all about recruiting. This is all about prospecting. So use the leaders in the market's time wisely. Use the speakers who are coming in wisely. And then, of course, don't take energy. So, don't be, slouched over and on your phone and not paying attention and falling asleep. If you see somebody doing that stuff, make sure you help play crowd control, bump them or, shoot them a text or something if they're on their phones. They get off your phone. You do this as a team environment. Be nice, but just let people know, hey, don't do that. Talk to them afterwards. That way that doesn't happen again. The other thing is don't sit in the back. Y'all need to come in if the chairs are set up. I know at restaurants it's not going to be that way, but if it's set up kind of like a meeting room, or if there's seats that are closer to the presenter, always take those seats first. Like if the TV's at the front of the room, don't sit at the back of the table. I know it's like the cool kids sit in the back of the bus. Don't be the cool kids. Don't be the ITC coming in and, and if you have prospects that are coming in like that, try to deflect that, change the energy, change their posture, tell them a joke, get them to loosen up. That way they don't take energy from the meeting either. And then, of course, don't be talking during the meeting. Don't be on your phone during the meeting. Don't be whispering during the meeting. All of those things are distracting for the speaker, the presenters, and it causes other people to do the same stuff. So let's talk about the enrolling questions. So now we got them to the meetings. We're doing the meetings. Let's go through the enrolling questions. So the biggest mistake people make whenever the presentation's over is this is the question I hear most often that's the wrong question. What did you think? Right? That's the most popular question for whatever reason that new people ask. They say, what did you think? I don't like that because they could always say that they didn't like it, right? So instead, the first question I always ask when I'm closing after a presentation to my prospect is, what did you like best? This way, you know right away what they were interested in, what they focused on. Was it the money, the residual, the bucket list, the savings? What was it, right? So these are the things that you want to have them focused on. You don't want to have them focused on the things that they didn't like. So this is why we focus on what did they like best, all right? Then the second question is, well, so did you want to get started with travel or money or both, right? Because now you're assuming that they want to at least do one of them, okay? So keep that in mind when you ask the questions like this. Focus on what they like, focus on what they enjoyed, and then ask them the closing question of, do you want to do travel, make money, or both? Not, so did you want to sign up? Okay, that's not the question, right? So keep that in mind whenever you do that. Okay. Next slide. How to host travel parties and grand openings. Everyone brings something, okay? This is a huge thing that will get people to attend. You put everybody in charge of bringing something. This was something that we did even with guests. So if you're doing a travel party, okay, or a grand opening, they're kind of synonymous, okay? A travel party is you're doing a get-together. You don't tell the guests it's a travel party because then they start asking a million questions because they have no idea what a travel party is. So what we do is, like, psychologically for new people, it's a travel party or a grand opening for the person hosting it. So this is what we call it to the host. But when we invite, we just invite them over, okay? And the thing that I used to do is I would have my guests bring something, and I would make it simple. I would have them bring paper towels. I would have them bring ice. I would have them bring paper plates. I would have them bring napkins. I would have them bring something, and then we would have just everybody bring something. You could have somebody bring chips. You could have somebody bring, waters. You could have somebody bring, a couple of 2 liters. Make it simple, under a few bucks, to where everybody brings something to the travel party, to the grand opening. That way, the host gets to focus on inviting and not bringing stuff. Okay. So when you do that, when you do that, it allows them to focus on just getting people there. If the host who's hosting it does all the drinks and the food and the spread and everything, then what happens is they don't spend any time or effort or energy inviting. You want the person who's having it at their home or having it at their business, you want them focused on inviting, okay? So you may not always have a business owner that can do it at their business. So a lot of people do it at homes, and homes are great. And home parties are literally how I built probably 250,000 of the 365,000 that I put in. And so you want to have people focused on inviting, not focused on cookies and chips and queso dips and whatever. And so if everybody brings something, then the host who's hosting it can focus 100% on inviting. Whoever's hosting it should have the most guests there because they've already had their friends and family and contacts in their home before. So once again, this is a normal, natural activity. This is very important to understand. And the reason is because when you actually get a chance to have people host these events, they're going to literally you're going to have a chance to have them have success because they've already done this before. They've already had people in their home. And so when this happens and they get a chance to actually do this for their Bryte Lyfe business, now they're having a party that actually makes them money. And so you want people to have one of these events for themselves as soon as possible. And that's why I call it a grand opening. No business is open without a grand opening. So you want to make sure that you keep people focused on having these events in their local markets. As soon as they join, as soon as they sign up, they should have one of these travel parties or grand openings. You don't need a presenter. You can use a video. You can use YouTube. You don't have to have a presenter. A lot of people think, oh, I've got to have a presenter. No, you don't. You don't have to have a presenter. And so keep that in mind. You can literally have one of these travel parties, one of these grand openings, and just push play. Everybody comes over, everybody hangs out, you mix and mingle for 30 minutes, you do like a 6 o'clock arrival, 6:30 start, everybody has a water, a drink, chips, cookie, something that people brought. Once again, it doesn't matter. You don't have to have a big spread. Nobody has to go all out. You don't need like a $5,000 charcuterie board or anything like that, okay? Everybody brings something, make it simple, make it duplicatable, and then you can use this as a grand opening for your new people. Now, if you have a bunch of new people and you don't have testimonials, then have testimonials on standby that you can have on the phone. So have them ready, let them know that you're going to be doing a travel party or a grand opening, and they need to be on standby at about 6:45 or 7 when the video is done to do their testimonial. And then you put them on speakerphone in front of the group, and you can have testimonials, and you can have 2 or 3 lined up to call and just have them share their testimonial and let them know, hey, I need you to do a business testimonial. I need you to do a travel testimonial. And have them prepped, have them prepared, and then follow the exact same steps that we went through with the first live event. Sorry, 1 second. All right. Next, one-on-ones and two-on-ones. Where to do them? Do them in a coffee shop or cafe. That's where I did 95% of my two-on-ones was coffee shop or cafe. And like I said, if you're going to do a day or a morning of two-on-ones, then go to one place, camp out, and have everybody come to you. That's the best and easiest way to do it. The teams that are growing the fastest right now are using two-on-ones and one-on-ones very effectively. I can't tell you how many three-way calls and third parties I've done this week for people doing these one-on-ones and two-on-ones. The other thing is that if it's a two-on-one, you always want to sit with your prospect on the same side. You never want to have you and your team member sitting across from your prospect, so it's two-on-one. You should always make it where it's two-on-one with the prospect to the presenter. or to the person who's going to do the explanation or show the video. That way they're sitting together. You're not teamed up on them. It makes them more comfortable. It makes it more natural. So always sit beside your prospect if you can. The next thing is you don't have to do a live presentation for a 2-on-1. In fact, the majority of 2-on-1s that I did, we would sit down, we would tell them a little bit about our story, a little bit about the company, and then we push play on the video. That's how I did almost every single 2-on-1 that I ever did. Why? Go back to, can I do this and will it work? They're asking themselves, can I do this? Could I sit down and explain that I'm going to show a video and then push play on YouTube? You can do that. They can do that. And then the next thing is the third party is immediately afterwards. So if you're doing a 1-on-1, you need to call somebody and put them on the phone with third-party validation. Remember, can I do this and will it work? They have to know that it will work. So as soon as it's over, then you call somebody. If it's a 1-on-1, if it's a 2-on-1, you have your other team member do their testimonial, and then you could call another testimonial or 2 or 3. You should have all these testimonials lined up. Let them know that you're doing 1-on-1s or 2-on-1s that morning and that they need to be on standby for doing 3-ways for you. Shoot them a text, let them know. Then the next thing is I sign them up right on the spot. So literally, so say, what do you like best? I like the travel. Great. So did you want to get started? I'm assuming you're going to do the membership. Did you want to do the membership and the influencer or just the membership? You said you like the travel. Perfect. Here we go. And then if it's my sign up, I'm going to go straight to my sign up link. If it's somebody else, if it's the person who's with me, I'm going to say, hey, open up on your phone the sign up page. Let's get them signed up right now. So literally have them sign up right then and there and have them download the app right then and there. Don't let them leave. Don't send them away. Don't say, okay, I'll send you the link later, get signed up later, and let me know once you do. No, have them do it right then and there. Make sure that they download the app right then and there. And if whatever reason they don't sign up, at a bare minimum, have them download the app. We need to get good at having everybody download the app so that it's on their phone, because eventually over the next couple of months, you're going to have a lot of different ways we can market to people who have the app on their phone. And so if you're the person who introduced them, make sure that they at least download the app, even if they're not signing up. And of course, if they signed up, don't let them leave until they've downloaded the app, because we're going to have lots of ways to market to them. And we're going to have a totally different interface for guests as opposed to members that's going to lead them into joining. And they have to have a referral code to be able to join, and they can't book the member prices without being a member. So at a bare minimum, get them to download that app every single time you meet with somebody so that it's on their phone as a reminder. Whenever it's time for them to book travel, maybe they'll remember and come back. But remember, yes or no, not a maybe, not in a week, not after the next paycheck. Let's get them to make a yes or no decision on the spot. Now let's talk about Zooms. Now we've been doing good with Zooms. The Zooms have been growing. The Sunday nights have been killing it. The thing is if we can keep the energy up, and when you guys get on there, put your location on there so I can say where you're joining from, and so the people can see it and they can see your face. You know, so if you're a member, get on the Zooms, especially if you're having guests on, you should be on too, because you can't call them and sign them up immediately after the Zoom if you weren't on it and don't know when it was over. So make sure that all of you are getting on every single Zoom. This is a massive deal. This is super important. The bigger the Zooms are, the more people that are on there, the more we create this live event experience. We go back to numbers 1, 2, and 3, right? Number 1, live group event. Well, a big, massive Zoom is very similar to number 1, which is a big live event. And so the more people we can get on the Zooms, the better. That means we need members, we need guests, everybody needs to invite. Remember, it's only 5 nights a week, 15 minutes, 75 minutes over the week. I would be on every single live Zoom, okay? And whenever you're inviting, we went through inviting last week, but send the reminder 30 minutes before, and don't say, hey, don't forget about the Zoom, or are you still going to be on the Zoom? Just say, I'll see you in 30 minutes. So that way they can't back out, they can't change their mind. You're not assuming that they're not going to come. You're assuming that they're going to be there. So send them that text 30 minutes before. And then, of course, call them immediately afterwards, and then have a third party available. A lot of people have not been using third party validation after the Zooms. I'm on the Zooms, like when I hang up with the Zoom, I push end. My phone is blowing up. I've got prospects calling me. I've got members calling me with third party validation. I mean, I end the Zoom at like 8:15, and I'm on my phone for another hour, probably at least minimum every single night, because I'm doing third party validation. I'm answering questions. I'm signing people up. It all needs to happen immediately afterwards. Don't just let the person go to bed and think about it for 24 hours. They already forgot everything they heard. Have them make their decision when everything is fresh on their mind and their questions are fresh on their mind, and then get them on the phone and do third party validation. So have people on your team on standby to do a travel testimonial, to do a business testimonial. At a bare minimum, do 2 testimonials for every single prospect. Can I do this? Will it work? Will it work is proven by testimonials, right? You're not a prophet in your own town. They're not going to believe you. You need to bring in third-party validation. So you need to have a business testimonial, and you need to have a travel testimonial for every single prospect, okay? And then you want to explain to them timing and placement and the bucket list countdown. That literally by signing up tonight, the bucket list countdown begins. And on top of that, you also need to talk to them about timing and placement of the binary. I've started to talk about it in the presentation, so make sure they understand, hey, look, I'm talking to other people. Tomorrow, I'm presenting to more people. Tomorrow night, I'm going to have more guests on the Zoom. When you sign up tonight, all those people that I sign up after you, they're going on your team, just like Wes showed with the blue plane in the presentation. So you need to get in tonight, because tomorrow night, I'm going to be signing up more people, and those people are going to be on your team. Then, while they're on the phone with you, send them the link to sign up and have them start the process while you're on the phone. I'm blown away by how many people just send the link, sign up, and then let me know when you're signed up. No, send them the link while you're on the phone with them. Have them pull the link up, make sure it opens right, make sure they're at the right place, and say, okay, as soon as you get signed up, call me back. I'll help you download the app. Use that as the reason to call you back. Get signed up, call me back, and I'll help you download the app. That should be your new close when you're getting people signed up after the Zooms. Okay, fill it out, get signed up, call me back, I'll help you download the app, right? That's the way to get them to do it right then on the spot while you're there. Now, I want to talk to you about starting markets, okay? And part of this has come from experience. And part of it is that people think that they have to have a group in order to start doing these live events. That's not true. I told you at the beginning, you have to start somewhere. So it's up to you to start the market. It's up to you to start the live event. So whether you do it with 2 people or 3 people, if you have a business buddy or a business partner or your upline or your downline, you need to get with them. And today, y'all need to talk. You need to say, look, we're in this together and I'm committed. And I will commit to 1 meeting a week, 1 live meeting a week. Where do you want to do it? Do you want to do it as a grand opening or as a travel party for the next few weeks? And then we'll move to a live event at a restaurant or a bar or a cafe. Or do you want to start it at a bar or restaurant or cafe this week? This is important because the contest that I'm about to announce is going to be all about activity. Okay. And so whoever does the most activities this week is going to have the most chances to win the trip. All right. So here's the thing. It starts with you. You don't have to go somewhere to start a new market, all right? You just have to have somebody signed up who's willing to do something on a weekly basis and put it in the calendar, commit to it, and you need to be doing this at a bare minimum in the market that you're in, because you can look at your market as a brand new market that you're starting from scratch. So get with your team, get with your upline, get with your sideline, and whoever's in your market and say, what do we want to do in this market? Do we want to do travel parties and grand openings on Sunday afternoons? Great time to do it. The live meetings, the public meetings, the best nights are Tuesday, Thursday. I talk all about the psychology of this in my book. Tuesdays, Thursdays, best for live events. Sunday afternoons, early evening is best for travel parties or grand openings. You just got to make sure they're done by 7 so you can get on the corporate call, okay? But figure out what your calendar is going to be. And then training next week, we're going to go through calendars. We're going to go through systems. We're going to go through duplication. We're going to go through how to create systems, how to create calendars, okay? So that's all going to be next week. But here's the other thing. You need to decide who the leaders are in your market. If you're starting your own market, you need to make your leaders. If you're going to another market, figure out who's working in other markets and try to get them to do this exact same thing. What can they do in their local market? And then set a goal for them. Let them know once they have 20 or 30 people there, you'll go. Maybe it's 15 to 20 people, but get something started and have them commit to it and do virtual meetings and push plays on videos until they're good enough to do live presentation or big enough to have a live presenter or speaker to come in. Here's the other thing, and this is huge for next week. When you do live events and you're starting markets from scratch, you have to build from event to event. Okay, and what I mean by that is everybody needs to be at Scranton on Monday night. Do not sandbag and wait and come on Tuesday lunch or Tuesday night. Everybody needs to come on Monday night. You need to plan that West Melcher is only in Scranton on Monday night. Don't give people an opportunity to come to Tuesday. Don't give people an opportunity to come to Tuesday lunch. Force everybody into Monday night. Why? The more people you force into Monday night, the more people sign up on Monday night. Now they can invite for Tuesday lunch and Tuesday night. Okay? So keep that in mind. Whenever you do that, keep that in mind when you're working with your people, and you can literally go out there and do it with your people, and you can keep them in mind whenever you're working with these new people, that you've got new people that just joined and now follow up on their inviting. Because when you've got people that just joined, that should be on the top of your mind. That should be on the top of your brain. Don't keep people, or don't, when you sign people up, don't assume that they're just going to go invite and they're going to do everything the right way. So I help my new people invite. So Monday night in Scranton, if I get those people signed up, I'm going to help them invite afterwards on Monday night, because we're going to be out of there by like 7:30. So I will pull aside my people I signed up and I will tell them how to invite. I'll help them invite, help them send some text messages. I'll literally help them do that right from the back of the room while I'm there. And then I'll follow up Monday night, and then I'll call them Tuesday morning. So literally, if you can force everybody to Monday night, now on Tuesday, they're all going to have guests on Tuesday lunch. And if you force everybody to Tuesday lunch, they're going to have 3 or 4 hours to get people to Tuesday night. So you should do what we call leapfrogging. You leap from one meeting to the next. You get everybody to Monday. Monday people gets everybody to Tuesday lunch. Tuesday lunch gets everybody to Tuesday night, and you teach people how to invite before they even leave. So then you follow up on all those people you signed up Monday night on Tuesday morning and see how many people they have coming to Tuesday lunch and how many people they have coming to Tuesday night. That's why you don't want to wait and have people come to Tuesday lunch or Tuesday night, because then I leave on Tuesday night and I go to Springfield on Wednesday. So leapfrog from event to event, from meeting to meeting. Never give people 3 options. Only give people the first option Monday night. Don't give them any other options. Force them at Monday night. And then also, if I'm doing multiple events in your market, you've got to be at every event. Don't just go to Monday. Don't just go to Tuesday. Don't just go to Tuesday night. You should be at every event. It's 3 meetings, an hour a meeting, 3 hours and 48 hours, not a big time request. This may be my last time there for a month or 6 weeks or 2 months. So take advantage of these meetings, be around the culture, be around the energy, bring people. And here's the thing, if you've got people within an hour of any of these live events, of any of these markets that are starting from scratch, ask people the question, who do I know that lives around, Bangor, Maine? Who do I know that lives around Scranton? Who do I know that lives in Maine? Who do I know that lives close to Maine? Who do I know that lives close to Springfield, Massachusetts? Not do I know, who do I know? Right? There's going to be people that are going to respond. Y'all should be asking those questions on social media today whenever we finish up. Now, here are some tips at having every event go amazing, event excellence, how to have powerful events, how to make the events grow. First of all, stay plugged in. It's like a light bulb. If it doesn't have power, it does not work. And power for us is being at these events. The events need you, and you need the events. So if there's events in your local market, you need to be at every one. Right now, nobody's doing anything on a weekly basis. This is all starting now. The day one of Bryte Lyfe begins today. When you leave this training today, you should meet with your team, your leaders, and your market and decide what your calendar is going to look like, what your schedule is going to be this week. What can you do tomorrow? Could you do a grand opening or a travel party tomorrow? Can you launch new people tomorrow? Can you do a live event in your market Monday night or Tuesday night? If I'm not coming to your markets this week, what can you do in your market now? This needs to happen this weekend while people are planning their weeks, while people are thinking about other stuff. You need to rein them in and plan the schedule and get together with your team, whether it's 2 people or 10 people or 1 person, and plan out your week. I told you earlier I was going to tell you about the 4-hour work week. I'm convinced you can be a 6-figure earner in this business with an effective 4-hour work week. You know, a lot of times people think they've got to be part-time. They've got to put in 15 to 20 hours. So they got to be full-time and put in 40 hours. Here's the newsflash. No networker is working 40 hours a week. There's no such thing as a full-time networker because this business is so leverage driven. I don't know a networker in my career who's really ever put in a 40-hour work week. Okay. They may do a meeting every day, or they may do 2 or 3 meetings every day. It's still not 40 hours of actual work. Okay. So be effective with your time. We talked about active versus passive activities. Be on every Zoom. That's an hour and 15 minutes. Do a minimum of 1 live event a week in your market. Okay. So that's 2 hours and 15 minutes. Do at least 1 grand opening or travel party for a new person on your team. That's 3 hours and 15 minutes. And then use that other 45 minutes for solid, good inviting to get people to those events. If you just do those things, you're on every Zoom, you do 1 live event a week, and you do 1 grand opening or travel party a week for a new person, and then you spend the rest of that 45 minutes inviting for the Zooms and for those live meetings and for that travel party grand opening, I promise you this is 6 figures in income. But you got to do it every week. You have to do these same activities every week. You have to be consistent. You have to make sure your market is consistent. You have to make sure that an event is happening in every market every week. So get with your team in that market and make sure something is happening and it's in the schedule. And then start asking people about activity. A lot of people get focused on sales. They get focused on rank, 2-2, 5-5, 70-70, whatever. They get focused on those numbers. Instead, you should stay focused on activity. How many grand openings did your team do this week in all markets? How many live events did your team do this week in all markets? I used to track my sales. I have my sales numbers from 2005 and 6, and I did it by the day. I could go back and look at those sales, and I promise you, Wednesday and Friday were always my biggest sales days. Why? Because Tuesday, Thursday was when everybody did their live events. And like I said, I started this in about 20 different markets. And so every market had a Tuesday and Thursday night meeting, or at a minimum, Tuesday or Thursday. So that meant that if you go look at my sales numbers and you lay it on a calendar, my biggest sales days were always Wednesday and Friday because of all the sales and activity coming in from Tuesday and Thursday night. That, period. 100% for sure. 365,000 sales. So focus on the activity, focus on the number of events, focus on the number of grand openings and travel parties, not on sales, not on signups, not on new members. Focus on the activity because that teaches your teams event to event management. You should manage your team from event to event. We're about to announce our first big convention type event here in the US. Okay, so that announcement is coming very soon. And it's going to be in a fun city where you can combine it with a well-liked trip, and you can combine it with a vacation, and it's going to be a training and a company event. So that's coming soon. You're going to be able to promote that. And then there's always going to be an event you can promote from corporate standpoint. But you also should be focused on event to event management in all of your local markets too. So you can't just worry about you can't just get on the live Zooms and think that that's going to build your business. Remember, 4 and 5. The most effective live events, group events, recorded events, one-on-ones, two-on-ones, and then Zooms. And then the least effective is recorded presentations. So you got to get beyond 4 and 5 and add a whole bunch of 1, 2, 3 to your team. Now, here's the contest, all right? So the contest is we want you in Tulum, and we want your prospects in Tulum. And so if we sell these 2 rooms over the next 24 to 48 hours, I will go get more rooms. Do whatever it takes, whatever you can to get to Tulum. We are going to have a special announcement to the members that are on the Tulum trip. It is going to be a very special VIP experience from a new partner that we're joining forces with, that we're going to be doing business with. And the people that are in Tulum are going to get first dibs, a very VIP experience. And so I promise you, you want to be there for that. But you also have all the stuff from Corey. We've got our personal development day. It's an incredible hotel. It's my favorite hotel in Mexico. So do whatever you can. It is still live and in the app. Okay. So go use your points. You can use your points to sign up. Okay, go sign up today. If you want to go and you need help getting there or you have questions, message me afterwards. I want you in Tulum. This is going to be history in the making. It is going to be red carpet event. We've got a special gift for everybody that's going to be there. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be incredible. And so what I want to tell you, leaving from this training, okay, how many of you could do a top 3 exposure? So that's a live event, a recorded event, one-on-ones or two-on-ones before Friday. And how many of those can you do? Okay, so here's the contest. When you go this week and do any of 1, 2, or 3, okay, live events, recorded events, group events, one-on-ones or two-on-ones, live with your people, you're going to take a selfie at that event and you're going to post it in the Facebook group and tag it on Instagram. You can do it in your story. You don't have to do it on your post and Instagram, and you don't have to tell anybody what it is. And just put, you can tag it, you can tag it, next step to freedom. Okay, next step to freedom, because the more you do of that, the closer you're going to be to freedom. People are going to wonder what that is, but tag Bryte Lyfe in it. So post it on the Facebook group, and here's what we're going to do. For every one of these you do before Friday, okay, so you have all the way until the end of the day on Friday, every one of the number 1, 2, or 3 types of exposures that you do and post on the Facebook group, okay? And then, of course, do it on the Instagram page as well in your story. But we're going to monitor the Facebook group, so the Bryte Lyfe Facebook group. Do your selfie and post it, okay? And we want to see your activity. And so if it's a one-on-one, selfie. If it's a two-on-one, selfie. If it's a group event, selfie. Travel party, grand opening, selfie. A recorded event. If you do a watch party with one of the Zooms, do it at your house, selfie. Okay. All of those things we talked about. Anything that's 1, 2, 3, do it as a selfie and post it on the Facebook group. Every time you do that, you're going to get an additional drawing, and we're going to give away a trip for 2. So the entire Tulum trip for 2 people. The actual hotel itself, $549 times 2, so $1,100 is going to be drawn to 1 person. And so if you do 5 of those, or 6 of those, or 8 of those, or 10 of those, or 15 of those, chances are you're going to win the trip. Okay. So, and you got to post it on the Facebook page for it to count. That's where we're going to track it. Okay. So not the Facebook page, excuse me, let me clarify. Facebook group, like it says on the screen. So the Bryte Lyfe Facebook group, not the corporate Facebook page, but the Bryte Lyfe Facebook group, where we have all the testimonials, where people are posting their travel savings. We're going to talk more about that next week in training. But we're going to do the drawing next Saturday. We're going to do it and announce the winner at the training next Saturday. So you've got a week to do this. 1, 2, or 3 exposures. Okay. The type 1, 2, or 3 types of exposures. The more you do, the more chances you have in the drawing. And so we're gonna close the contest Friday night. We're gonna do the drawing Saturday morning and announce who that is. But once again, if you can register for the Tulum trip, you can get on the Tulum trip. If you've got a 6-figure annual earner or 7-figure annual earner from the network marketing industry that we can get to Tulum, message me afterwards and we'll figure out a way to get them there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I know I went long today. I'm going to put this on the YouTube channel as soon as we're done. So get your team to watch this. This starts a new day, a new culture, a new type of activity. We've done great with level 4, 5 exposures, but levels 1, 2, 3 are going to really send us into the stratosphere as far as growth, retention, culture inside our markets. Which markets are going to make the most noise? Which markets are going to have the most people? Who's going to win the trip to Tulum? Who's going to do the most exposures this week of the 1, 2, 3 category of exposures? I can't wait to see them. I can't wait to see them on the Facebook group. Get with your team today. Plan your schedule for the week. Last minute invites are the best. Last minute grand openings and travel parties are the best. So Don't think because it's Saturday, you couldn't do one tomorrow or you couldn't do one on Monday. If I'm coming to your market this week, do everything you can to get people to those events. I'll see you guys in PA first on Monday. Make sure you get everybody to Monday's meeting. I'm going to get them signed up on Monday and we'll get them back to the meetings on Tuesday. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great weekend and God bless.